So Frontios is basically about a house being infested by wood lice, except the house is an entire planet and the wood lice are 7 feet tall. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. First, before I get back to Frontios, I just want to say, hooray! Today was the last day I ever have to step on that accursed elliptical. My brand new time treadmill will be arriving later today. I'll be assembling it this afternoon, and tomorrow morning I will begin the Dalek story on my brand new Soul treadmill, and I am so excited I can't even say. Aside from the accursed elliptical, this will mark my third treadmill since I started this ridiculous project. I burnt the first one out after about 1.5 years, and then as an emergency stopgap, I bought a cheap second-hand $200 treadmill that I expected to last a couple of months, and it actually lasted a substantially long time, but eventually I burned it out because it was crap. This one is the treadmill of my dreams. It's the one I've wanted for a couple of years. It is built like a tank and it will last for years and years and years, and I am thrilled. So tomorrow, Time Treadmill begins anew. Getting back to Frontios, there are a couple of more interesting things about this story I wanted to talk about. First of all, the central plot point of the story, that the tractators, the 7-foot-tall woodlice, actually invaded Turlough's home planet thousands of years ago, and it's Turlough's generational memory of the tractators that unlocked the secret on how to defeat them. And that's the first time we've gotten any kind of backstory on Turlough. We'll get a tiny bit more from him in 2 more stories, which is good because he's leaving in 2 more stories. But in any case, this one was a particularly strong episode for Turlough, and I'm glad he got it. And it also marks for an odd story by writer Christopher Bidmead. His previous contributions to the series have always been a little more esoteric, much more about metaphysics and philosophical discord, and not so much about practical action and monster of the week. This one was very much a monster of the week, and when I say that it's basically about woodlice infesting a house, I mean that Christopher Bidmead actually wrote this story about the woodlice that infested his house. So good on him for venting that frustration. Now, 2 interesting future echoes in this story. First of all, I mentioned yesterday that the setting of the story, a human colony at the far end of space, at the far end of time, very much reminded me of the 10th Doctor story that reintroduced the Master and was set far at the end of time in Utopia. But more interesting, this story several times makes reference to the hungry Earth and how the ground is actually eating the colonists on this planet, which of course turns out to be the tractators drawing people down into their subterranean lair with their gravitic force. But that is very much the plot of the 11th Doctor story, The Hungry Earth, which set itself up to look like it was going to be a tractator story, and then swerves at the midpoint by revealing that it's actually the return of the Silurians. But it's no coincidence the usage of the phrase the hungry earth and the shots of people being drawn into the ground just like there were in Frontios. I thought that was a very clever tactic by future Doctor Who writers to throw up some distraction and then swerve another direction. And on that note, I am going to go disassemble the accursed elliptical, throw it out of my workspace, and never look upon it again. I will see you tomorrow with the brand new Time Treadmill.